mean that you have to be a classroom teacher to be able to do this. You can also do this if you are not in a classroom setup, but you are working with a group of students. It could also be like we have a few of you over here who are just parents and are only working with their children. So in that situation also, you can apply these strategies and provide certain accommodations while teaching them even at home. Then at the end of every module, this is true for all the modules that we have a section which is based on application of learning, because we believe that it's not only about imparting the knowledge. After you receive the knowledge, you have to be able to apply it, and then we give our feedback as to how well you applied it, and only then you are eligible for certification. So at the end of the module, you will be analyzing specific case studies, and you will be giving your plan of action for those specific students. We will be giving you feedback on your analysis, and there will be further course correction if required. And then only we will be, you will be getting your certification for one module. So for every module that is going to be there. So this is your first one, which is dyslexia screening and identification. Now we will move on to the second one, which is dyslexia classroom strategies. Now, like I said, this module is dependent on the first one. So if you want to do module 2, you have to do module 1, because unless and until you know the warning signs, what to spot for in the classroom, what to look out for in your students who are there in the class, or even if you are working one-on-one with them, until and unless that knowledge is there, you will not be able to intervene appropriately. So that's why this is a very crucial module which comes after the first one. So you will be equipped with adequate classroom scaffolding techniques and directives, which you can use to work with students with SLD. Classroom management strategies will be discussed in this one. You will learn about those. And again, you will be given specific case studies, which you will be working on, analyzing, and we will be giving you feedback on the same. So there will be various strategies which will be like we will be exposing you to various strategies, and you can select. Some of these strategies can work well in a group. There will be strategies which can also be used on an individual one-on-one basis. So that's module 2 for you. Moving on, we will go to module 3. Module 3 is a bit different from the first two, because the first two is all about understanding the difficulties and intervening. We do not usually, go into the diagnostic aspects in the first two modules. But in the third module, we are talking about interpreting psychoeducational reports. Have any one of you seen a psychoeducational report? Have you had the experience of going through a report? Okay, Anita is saying no. Anybody else? Meenal, Sunita. I think Sunita, you did share last time also. Have you?
Yes.
What was your experience when you went through one psychoeducational report?
So we did it for our daughter. So it did give us all the details of what is the range,
Yes.
where she is in different, breakups of all the aspects of her learning. Her I don't really remember the details, but her reading skills, writing skills, language skills, speaking skills,
Yes.
all that. Then it was
And for
parent
each
evaluation.
one of those, parent evaluation. Yeah, go on.
And teacher evaluation. But school, we didn't use the school here, but when we did in Jakarta, we had the school also the teachers gave the feedback, and the psychologist also attended a school session where she was observing my daughter.
Very nice. That's how it should be. It should be a collaborative effort. So nice. What was your reaction when you first saw the report? What all did you see in the report?
So I saw so I couldn't express what was going on with her, but
yes.
this tool helped me understand what's going on and identify.
Yes.
I think the first, a step towards remedy is to accept the reality and not be in denial.
Yes.
Is to say, okay, so this is the problem. So what is the next step? How do we remediate it?
Right.
And then we had a series of things to do, like step 1, step 2, step 3. So which is in process now. So
excellent.
If we don't have that yardstick, you just can't.
You don't know where you stand. So sometimes,
correct.
A lot of people say you are labeling my child by giving a diagnosis, but sometimes you need that label just to understand where you are.
Yes.
And a lot of times we do not have any difficulty with accepting labels when they are medical in nature. But whenever it comes to psychology, we sort of take a step back. But that is very important. And what you said is you need to know where you stand with your skills. Only then you can work towards improving them. So psychoeducational report is one such tool, and like the way it helps Sunita, it helps a lot of other parents to understand the difficulties that their child is going through. And not about difficulties, the report may also reveal certain strengths of your child. I don't know whether in Sunita's case that was there or not, but
it
it
said
reveals strengths.
that my daughter has high IQ, so that
so
really
cognitive
excited
ability
us.
is high. Right.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of things will make you understand about the strengths of your child as well. But like Sunita said, the report had to be explained, right? Because it's a very complex document. It has a lot of, like she said, scores and ranges and tables and jargon. So it is not an easy document to understand. It's a pretty complex one. But once explained, and if teachers, parents, and the psychologists are all working together, then nothing like it. Oftentimes, however, we have seen cases where psychoeducational reports, unfortunately, have just been not explained to the parents at all. In India, at least, we have heard various cases where the parents have just been given a certificate with an attached report, and they have not been properly counseled as to what is there inside. So it is very important to be independent in a sense. If you are independent in being able to understand what all goes in a report, so wherever your child is getting assessed and you are getting a document, you will be able to make sense of that. So that is empowering. So that is what we are targeting over here. It is not about being a psychologist only and only then you can read a report. That is not true. Even if you do not have, a base of psychology, still you should be able to, and you will be able to read a report and make sense of it. So that is what this module targets. So the basic outcomes would be that after doing this module, you will be able to differentiate between screening tools and assessment batteries. What are the key areas which should be assessed in a student who is experiencing learning difficulties, so as to arrive at a diagnosis of specific learning disorder? And what are the rationale behind granting certain accommodations? So there are students who have difficulties, who get extended time, a reader and a writer. There are some students who have some difficulties, but they end up not getting anything. So what, makes this difference? Why is a student getting it and why some students are not getting it? So what's the yardstick, basically, like Sunita used that term. So this is module 3. Then moving on, we will go to module 4. So module 4, again, you can do as a standalone module. This is about smart learning. It focuses on study skills, and this is for everybody. It is not only for students who have dyslexia. Anybody, even a student who is not having any learning difficulty can benefit from, certain strategies and techniques to learn to, their optimum. So this is what the module, is targeting. Learning smart, not hard, because we know that the curriculum is pretty vast and students are overwhelmed when they have to go through that curriculum. Teachers are overwhelmed, parents get overwhelmed. Their target is to complete the curriculum rather than targeting comprehension and understanding. A lot of times students are just so bogged down. They are just leaning towards rote learning whenever possible, just mug it up. But that itself is a very stressful process. You cannot mug up so much. So this module targets, comprehension, better comprehension, and it sort of deviates from that rote learning methodology and goes towards, more skill-based methodology. So it starts right from setting goals to how to be able to concentrate better, how to take notes in a more effective manner, how to organize your notes, how to use background information for better comprehension. And also it focuses on writing skills, retention skills, using mind maps for writing also, and for retaining the information also, revising the information. So these are the strategies mostly which will be covered in the smart learning module. So moving on. Now, this module 5, is on understanding sounds, because sounds are very important, because language is nothing but a mix of sounds, different sounds coming together. And when we read, it's all about sounds. So phonological awareness, understanding of sounds in general. So if phonological awareness is weak in a student, then their reading suffers, and ultimately then their spelling skills are also not well developed. So that's the foundation. That's the base for reading, having a good phonological awareness. So this module talks about the importance of phonological awareness, how it can be taught using different kinds of activities, how it is important to develop phonological, phonemic, and phonic skills, the difference between these. And all of this is done through giving you the knowledge of different kind of activities that can be done with students to develop each of these skills. But again, this module also will again ask you to come up with your own activities, so that you are independently able to curate activities on your own for your students. So that's how the interaction happens. First, we give you a set of activities, then you also come back with yours, and we give you feedback, and then you can design your own independently. So all of these modules are designed in a way to make you more independent professionals in whichever area you are working. So that was module 5. Module 6 is about spelling. So first we target reading, and then comes spelling. So spellings, especially in the English language, sometimes may seem as if it is quite irrational and it is not following any particular rule. But there are always rules. At least, the good news is that 85% of the words in the English language follow some rules. And as to those rules only, they are spelled. So if students are taught the rules behind the way the words are spelled, they will be able to understand why a word is spelled in a particular way and not in some other way. For example, why is duck spelled as D-U-C-K and not D-U-K or D-U-C? So what is the rule behind it? Sometimes when students ask us these questions, we just say, oh, that is the way it is, so you just learn it, because that's the way we have learned it, so just learn it up. But that's not the right answer. There are actually patterns and rules behind the way words are spelled, and once students know that, application becomes much easier. So that is what this module targets. This is the last module in the foundation course, and over here, once you do this module, you will be able to list out the 6 syllable types on which all the rules of spellings are dependent on the 6 syllable type. So you will be having an understanding of that. You will be able to explain, like I said, to students who ask you as to why this word is spelled in a particular way. You will be able to give a rationale why the word is spelled in that way. And you will be able to understand that English is not actually a funny and unpredictable language. There is a science behind the way the words are spelled. And of course, then the application of learning happens and you get feedback from your facilitator. So these are the 6 modules that make our foundation course in specific learning disorder. Now digital learning, because all of this will be done digitally, and we have come up with a unique model of doing digital learning. So I would just first like to ask you, like I had done before also in the previous session, I had asked Sumita, some of you may have taken online courses during the pandemic time and may be still doing it. So what are some of the problems that you have faced while doing online courses? Are there any glitches, any drawbacks you feel of an online module vis-a-vis an offline module? So, and if there are, what would those be? Pradita, you can also come in. Neenal, you are there. So just share, like, what has your experience been when it comes to online learning? What are the lags that you have experienced, if any? Have you all done any online courses ever? Anita, Pradita? Pradita, you are smiling. I wonder why.
No,
Yeah,
because
please.
I haven't done any course, but we've had
okay.
online classes for the children.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Yeah, so I'm sure
What
children
happened there? What was your experience?
I think we were not able to reach out to every child, which we could have done in the classroom,
So it became like a more passive experience rather than an active one. Yeah.
Because if a child had a problem in a class, we would actually go to the child, and be next to the child and see what the problem is. And also for the child to interact with somebody on screen is very,
limited.
It's limiting and it is not personal in nature.
Right.
So, unlike a face-to-face.
And of course, you can just switch off your video and audio and just be quiet, and it's impossible for the teacher to address everybody.
So, yeah, but small children don't do that. The older ones do it.
Older ones do it,
yeah. The younger ones don't do that, but
they have some parental supervision working over there for them.
But what is their problem? Also, they can't express, So it's difficult for us to find out what their problems are.
This is from a very different perspective. This is from the teacher's perspective. But this is also important because some of the points you touched upon, like, this is not as interactive as, a face-to-face offline model is, online model. So we also thought that these are some of the major drawbacks of the online model. So when we thought about, structuring our foundation course, these were our major concerns. So that is the reason we chose a platform, and the way in which our programs are designed, we have tried our best so that interaction should not get hampered. Like interaction, participation, collaboration, like you said, reaching out happens to the maximum. So these are some of the things that we have worked on, because these are actual problems. So passive experience, we all know that we attend, I don't know whether you all have, but webinars and all you may have attended, I'm not very sure. But half the time when you attend the webinar, because you know that it's a one-way process, you will not be asked to answer anyways. So you can just be, kneading the dough in the kitchen and listen to the webinar, and you just, or maybe you just click, pictures of the slides and they lie in your phone forever and they are never used basically. Or you just get you get some notes, or you get a certificate for what it's worth in your email, and that's it. That's about it. So learning ends over there. So learning cannot be a one-way street. It cannot be simply transmission of knowledge. There has to be something which comes from the participants also. So if nothing is coming from the participants, then we cannot be sure as facilitators whether you actually got what we are trying to tell you or not. So the onus of the learning is actually on the participants. So taking ownership of learning is very important, and that is what we have focused on. So in the digital experience, we feel for the digital experience to be a success, it has to be a participatory experience. It cannot be a passive experience. Everybody's voice matters, so nobody can remain silent. So that is the reason the strength of our, the number of people who can enroll is maximum 20 in our, in each of the batches. We do not take a lot of participants, because then one facilitator will not be able to do justice to everybody then. And everybody should have the opportunity to speak and express and give their viewpoints on whatever they are learning, and everybody learns from everybody. So there is collaboration. This is what we call collective intelligence. This is a term which we use often, because nobody knows everything, but everybody knows something. That is what we believe, and there the exchange of ideas happens. And you have defined deliverables. So basically, when you are in a learning circle, and I will show you how it works, everybody's participation gets recorded on the online platform. So you actually know how much you participated and how much somebody else, your peers participated, how many comments you made, how many polls you took, how many viewpoints you have expressed. So all of that gets quantified, and you actually get a report of that. So you actually understand how active you have been while learning. So that we feel is the solution. So we have come up with this model where we focus on learning together and apart. So when we talk about together, it is more like meeting on a synchronous platform such as Zoom, like we have met today, and we are talking with each other. So here you get to meet your peers, and you discuss ideas, and and also you learn apart, and that learning apart happens on the Vistango platform. Whose demo, I will be giving a demonstration of that platform today briefly. So it's a two-pronged process where you meet everybody, and then also you are learning at your own pace, at your own time. The schedule is elongated, so we do not believe in a 1 hour, 2 hour webinar, which can, do justice to a big topic such as, specific learning disorder. So how much ever informative a webinar is, it is still a one-way street. So the process is it's an elongated schedule. It goes every module is for a month. So after the synchronous sessions get over, the learning circle remains active for another 3 weeks, where you go back, you look at the resources, you do your work, you respond to questions that the facilitator had asked you and you missed out on, you make your submission. So all this process is a 1 month process. So every module is for a month. It's a digitally blended module.
Sorry,
yes, please.
I didn't get
please.
this.
Yeah.
You told that, can you please tell us when are these classes held, and is it on weekdays?
it will be on weekdays. It will be usually, I think it is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So that's how the schedule is. And there is a day's break in between because you will have to go back to the asynchronous platform to do the work.
Yeah, some of them are on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Not
some of them are on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday also.
The
Okay.
schedule is already fixed, and the time. So it's either Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and the timings 5 to 7. Whatever day it is,
5 to 7.
But is there an option that I can choose between Monday, Wednesday, and the Sunday? I choose Tuesday, Thursday.
It is a fixed. The days are fixed because that is the day all the participants will come and join.
I have a question. On June 10th, I have to fly back to Jakarta from Bangalore. So it's most likely that I will miss that because I'll be on the flight. So is there, just for that day, can I get a recording?
So, Sunita, once you do the course, you will realize that the recording really does not help because it is completely, the Zoom session is all with the work you have done on the platform. And you will understand that because Diya will be talking about how the platform works. So, however, the platform is interactive. So all your queries, doubts will be addressed to on the platform. So you will know about that once Diya does the demonstration, and then we can again talk about it.
Yeah, because half of our every synchronous session is of 2 hours, and in the initial portion, in the section of the synchronous session, the responses which the participants only have made on the platform is taken up and discussed. So there is nothing which the facilitator is imparting. The imparting of knowledge has already happened on the asynchronous platform. The synchronous is only discussion, and then the second half is where participants break out into different rooms on Zoom and they do an activity together. So just listening to that won't give you anything. So you will feel disconnected even more. If you just,
so for this batch, it's been decided. Is it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays? I mean, because I have something else on those days. That's the reason I'm asking. Accordingly, then I can
The dates are already there.
We will give you the dates. You can cross-check with your schedule and see how it is.
So once we are done with this, we can discuss.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, then we can discuss and you see how it works. The requirement for the course is basically you need a place where you can study from. So basically at home or school. So the asynchronous can be accessed from anywhere. So that's a online platform, and you need a laptop or a desktop to access the asynchronous platform. We will say that do not work on the asynchronous platform on your mobile phone because sometimes it doesn't load that well as it loads, on the laptop or the desktop. You need an internet connection. So that's about it. That's the requirement. I already went through it. I have already said that the learning happens in 2 parts. One is the synchronous part where we meet on Zoom. The responses are discussed, breakout room activities happen. Which is also part of the application process. Then participants share what activities they have done with their peers. The facilitator gives feedback. Also, other participants from other groups give their feedback. So it's a very highly interactive session. So if you miss out on a synchronous session, it's a big loss because you will not be able to connect in the next synchronous session. Then a lot will have happened. In the asynchronous part, of course, you can stay connected because that is online and you can see your participants' responses and you can interact with each other. It's like a Facebook platform, which is a personalized Facebook for only this particular module. It's like that. I will be taking you through that. So the advantages I have already taken you through. I'll not go through that again. Let me just take you through the Vistango platform and you will understand how it works. Just a minute. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is how the Vistango platform looks like. Of course, once you register for a particular module, you will be getting a welcome email. You will also be getting an invite from the Vistango platform. You will have to join the platform by clicking on a link, which will open a page. You will have to create your, password and login ID, just like you do for any online platform like Facebook or Twitter or any platform, WhatsApp. So you create that and then you enter Vistango, and you will see that your module is published. You will enter, and then you will see certain topics have been published in the module that you have to work on. So initially, before the first synchronous session, the asynchronous goes live 2 days before the synchronous session begins. Because initially you have to do some work on this asynchronous platform, then you come for the synchronous session. So if you see on the right-hand side of this of my screen, you will see there is this green panel and there is a filter over here. If I click on it, you will see that there are topics listed. So I have selected one of the spelling modules which Masrat facilitated last year. And you will see all the topics that are there as part of the learning circle. Now, all these topics will not be live all at once. So topics are made live as you progress in your learning. So initially, the first topic is the warm welcome, where everybody is welcomed on board, and you talk about where you have come from, and each one of you get to know each other, you interact with each other. I'll just show you the first post. So over here, I'm looking at the grid view. So all the topics are lined one below the other. So if I go to the warm welcome, and this is the first post, I can click on go respond, and this post opens up. So this is the first post that Masrat has made in this learning circle, unraveling the mystery behind the way words are spelt. And she's asking a question over here of the participants. She's asking, she's giving some information, and then she's saying that share one word that best describes how you feel to be a part of this intervention. It's the very basic, the first post of the learning circle. And then you can see over here that participants have responded. So participants respond. So if you, so this is how it works. So the facilitator makes a comment, puts up a post, and you respond to it. For example, over here, Masrat's credentials are there. So you meet your subject matter expert and you get to know what your subject matter expertise area is. So again, over here, people have responded, and Masrat has responded to the comments that have come in. So how do you comment? Over here, basically, if you see, there's a comment section at the end of each post. You write your comment over here, and then you click on this arrow and your comment gets posted. So this is just like, like I was saying, your own personal Facebook experience for this particular topic. And not only does, can Masrat respond to a participant, participants can respond on each other's comments as well. And that is something that we appreciate greatly. Okay, so this is one way of responding to each other. Then you have this thumbs up icon, which is basically an indication of if you think that learning has occurred in any way, in any particular post. If you have learned something valuable, then you can click on this to indicate that, yes, you appreciate that learning. Of course, you will not do it blindly for each and every comment and post. It will only be done for posts which you really feel has, contributed to your understanding of something. And then you can comment on that post as to what did you learn from it. You can also rate the post. So there is the star thing over here, which you, if you click on it, you will see 4 different kinds of rating come. Very creative, quite relevant, well stated, the solution. Again, the solution is like the best. You feel that this comment, has it. It has your peers or your facilitator or anybody, somebody made the best comment, and you click on it. So again, you will be sort of understanding, judging the responses, and depending on how much you have understood from the, comment, depending on that, you will be rating. So this is another way of responding. Then there are polls, also, which are structured, in a way so that it elicits responses from you. This one is a very basic poll. It just talks about the 4 expected outcomes that this module is, delivering. And so it sort of asks you, which one is a priority, which 2 are your priority, and you take the poll, and then again you respond. Okay, and then Masrat responds if there are questions. Okay, and then those get discussed. So there are polls as well, so you respond to each other. And so this is how the responding happens. And the platform has been designed in such a way that the more you participate, the more you respond, the higher your graph becomes. So there's a participation graph as well. So if you click on the analytics, which is on the left-hand side, you will get a summary of the participants' engagement in the learning circle. So over here, you see that we have got the participation summary of the all the participants over here. So for example, Latika, who is one of our participants, has made 342 responses. So how many learns has Sangeeta experienced, and so on and so forth. How many rates has Anagha given? So for each participant, you can actually see who has been very, very active and who has not been active at all. So you get graphs and you get analytics. Also, you get an overview of the entire learning circle. So over here, and you also get outcomes. So outcomes are basically shareable. So the outcome is a full report of the entire learning circle, which gets automatically generated. So if you go to your this particular learning circle's outcomes, you will see that who has participated how much and to what extent. So all of the topics come up, and then you also get the participants who have been there and how many active learning, how much active learning has been achieved in this learning circle, how many total learns and ratings, who are the top achievers and in which category. So you also have a leaderboard. So if you participate and if you do something constructive, that gets recognized in the leaderboards. So the top curators, top appreciators, top achievers. So you get all of this. And also then you get a summary of all the comments and whatever has been discussed in the learning circle. And this, you can just take it away. The link is there. You can download it. You can print it out. This can be kept as a soft copy. You can share it with your colleagues or friends to tell them that this is what, you know, I have done. This is the learning circle. So this is like a report that you get automatically. So this is how the learning happens. So any questions from here? If you have, you can ask me till, you know, till the time I'm over here. Anything from this? Nothing, right? Okay, so I will be just shutting this off and going back to my presentation, and you can think of questions which you would want to ask and just ask them freely. Okay, so I would like to take you through some of the testimonials that we got from some of our participants, because like I said, we were a bit hesitant when, you know, before we started this learning circle, thinking that, you know, what will the impact be? Because all these, whatever we showed you earlier, we used to do it offline before the pandemic hit us. We used to, you know, go to schools, we used to go to, you know, have teacher workshops face-to-face. Teachers and parents would come to our center for workshops. So we had never experienced something like, so we were hesitant. So when we, you know, saw Vistango and how it works, we felt like this could be the, you know, bridging factor. Like we can use this platform to make interaction as effective as, you know, it is when it is a face-to-face thing. So we got some good feedback, so that gave us confidence. And from afterwards, we had many learning circles which we did successfully. So some of our, you know, first feedbacks which have come, you can see on your screen. You know, Priya is from Pune, and she thought that this is a professional necessity. She felt that everybody who is in the teaching or in the education field should have an experience such as this and should know about these topics that we are, you know, talking about. Dr. Preetal, who is from Baroda, spoke about all the myths that she had and which were broken after she, you know, did the course. Maruk is from Canada, who is actually now a student of the dyslexia teacher training program. She is doing that course, but she did the foundation course first, which is the prerequisite. And she appreciated the facilitator answering and responding to all the queries that she had, and she felt that they had the expertise. And so Susanna was from Assam. So like I said, the world became smaller for us. We could cater to a lot of people from, you know, all over you know, our country and also abroad, and it was an excellent experience. So self-learning is something Shivani spoke about. A lot of times, you know, face-to-face, you may not be able to ask a question. So that is also something, you know, which Susanna is speaking about. Though you have face-to-face learning, but you also have those shy ones who are not very comfortable raising their hands and standing in front of everybody and asking a question. On the asynchronous platform, you can do it comfortably because you are doing it at your, you know, space, and it is not in front of everyone. So she got that comfort. And also people are very supportive of each other in our learning circle. We think of it as a safe space. So if you want to discuss something, it stays in the learning circle. And we have had very supportive participants. Some of them have become friends for life, by the way, and they interact on WhatsApp groups and all. So this is how it is. These are some of the feedback that we have got. So that is about it from my side. So this is the full information on the foundation course. So now you can ask your questions, whatever you have, and we'll answer
Yeah,
them.
my first question is, can I start the practicum? I don't know, when are we supposed to start the practicum? Because schools here are shut from June and July.
What do you mean by the practicum? You mean the learning circle, right?
So aren't we supposed to also practice as a teacher to qualify?
Yes, but that will happen after you finish a module. So after you complete the module, you will be given certain tasks to complete. Only after that you will be getting your certificate. So that will be explained in detail as to what is expected out of each participant. And you will have to go back and apply it somewhere. If not in the class, it could be an individual student. You have to do the application and then come back. And there will be a deadline for that, but it's a lenient deadline. So you will have enough time to complete it, basically. You will have time.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking for more details is because I need to take a call, because I live here in Jakarta. I don't work. I'm not a teacher. So I'm going to be starting out. I have to talk to schools or college or preschools and ask them, would you be able to engage me as a LD teacher and all that. So there is a bit of
but you
selling
have
required.
you have your daughter, right?
Not at this stage.
My daughter is already going through Orton Gillingham since 2 years.
Yeah, great. So application, that is, you have the chance of applying that with your daughter as well. So certain activities, so though she is undergoing Orton Gillingham, the activities may not be all the same, So you may come up with your own activities, which she has not, which the other teachers haven't worked on. So you do those with her and see what kind of responses you are getting, how successfully she is able to learn the concept. So see, the activities will be different, and we encourage, you coming up with your own activities, how it is working. We will give you feedback. So you can always have your daughter, as your student and apply it on her. That will be great, in fact, I feel.
Okay. And is this possible for me to do the practicum in a preschool, or should it be in a elementary only?
Preschool is fantastic.
Let me answer this. So Sunita, what you need to understand is that this course, doing this course, you cannot be, applying in schools or working in schools or organizations. This is a foundation. This is a foundation course, and okay, so this is a foundation course. The requirement is not that you should be attached to a school or an organization. So that is one thing. Application of learning is all based on, whatever you have learned through the each modular learning circle, how you're going to apply it. Keeping a student in mind, you don't have to actually be with the student, but if you can be with the student, that would be great. And in your case, your student would be your daughter.
Okay.
Anybody, it can be your daughter, your niece, nephew, son, neighbor, anyone.
So
anyone who you feel would benefit from whatever you have learned from this program. The practicum that you're talking about is a practicum that for which you require a student to work with is when you're doing the teaching level, okay, not at the foundation level. The foundation level, you need to understand it's foundation course. It does not, we are not claiming, we are not saying that with this foundation course, you are equipped to, or you have developed the skills to start working with students or applying in schools or organizations as a teacher. You don't become a dyslexia teacher or a special educator doing the course. The second level, which is the teaching level, is where which is a 1 year, and on completion of that 1 year course, you become a dyslexia teacher. It has its, criteria, eligibility criteria, where you have to work with one student at least 4 to 5 times a week, and each session of at least an hour's duration. And you have to complete, certain number of hours and the levels and so on. But that is at the teacher level. But to be eligible for the teacher level, you first need to do the foundation course.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And your other query about, Pradita had this query about the days, right?
Yes.
So,
Days.
so for example, I'll just tell you the days are already fixed. We will send you. So the module 1 days are, 2nd, 4th, and 6th of May. That is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Same thing, module 2 is 16, 18, and 20 May, which is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Okay. Module 3 is also Tuesday, Thursday. Module 4 also is Tuesday, Thursday. Module 5 is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is in August.
What is what is the module 5?
Module 5 is
sounds. Multisensory.
Multisensory intervention and making sounds meaningful.
Okay.
That is in August, and those days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Okay.
Same thing for module 6. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is in September.
Okay.
So the first four modules, the dates are Monday, Tuesday. Days are Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. But 5 and 6 is Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And could you please repeat once more, what are the modules that are,
You will receive we will be giving information brochure.
Just what you do is, immediately after this session, just send an email asking for details, and we will email the details to you.
Okay.
Okay, it has all the dates and all the details will be there.
No, I just want to know, because some of the modules you said is a prerequisite for some other module.
Yes.
That I wanted to know.
Yes.
So to do
only 2nd and 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are some people who don't want to do the entire foundation course and want to just choose and pick certain modules. So we are very flexible about that. We do understand. But like if somebody says I want to do module 2, then module 2 standalone is not allowed. You have to do module 1.
And for 6, you have to do 5.
Module 6. Then you have to do module 5.
5. They are interconnected.
But module 3, 4, and 5 are standalone.
Also 1. Also 1.
1 is
yeah.
That is
most basic. Yeah.
But as you move ahead, you can do 3, 4, 5 without doing the other modules.
And so, you said the teacher training program.
You said you are traveling, so that is the. So Sunita, we don't have a class on 10th July, by the way. The class is on 11th July.
Oh, fantastic. Because the previous time in January when you sent it, it said July 10th, 14th, 18th, and 22.
Oh.
Is that it?
Yeah, it says July 10th, 14th, 18th, 22.
Okay, let me check.
July 10th, it could be that the asynchronous is going live. Is it like that?
I just have a table, like an Excel sheet. That's what it says.
Okay, I just check, and I don't think so, because in my diary it's 11:13 and 11:13:15.
Because I'm about to change my flight tickets, so if I can get a confirmed schedule, that will be great. So I can travel one day before or after.
Sure, I'll resend the details to you. You also just send me an email. Just
okay,
send an email asking for the details.
Yeah. Okay.
Anita, do you have any queries?
You are on mute.
I do see value at 4, 5, 6 modules, but but I may have to take it whenever you all do the next session, because next few months I
Acha.
don't see. So, but I definitely would like to do this sessions, maybe the next round of this. And if at all, I'll just have a look once again, if I can really adjust or something like that. But I'm a little committed this year, the next few months. So, but it's definitely a good, what you're offering is definitely the need of the hour, and it's definitely going to help out. It's very much what the testimonials that you have presented, all that is very valid.
It's very comprehensive, and actually we felt that what we used to deliver, offline, we are able to do much more through this medium. So that has been the feedback majorly.
Yes, it definitely helps. Even that little bit, whatever the teachers, the actual teachers who are,
Yes,
and they are doing, they really require this kind of evaluation.
Yeah. And you were referred by Tahura, right? Who was?
No, by Pradita.
Pradita was referred by Tahura. Oh. No, you can talk to Tahura and she will tell you. She has been fantastic. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Tahura teaches in my school.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's a new teacher. So she was asked to do this course because she's dealing with young children. And
yeah, she will give feedback because she has been quite like a very enthusiastic participant.
Has been actually the most involved and enthusiastic contributor to our learning circles. Very much involved.
So we remember her. That's why.
The thing is, she was not sure whether she would do the entire foundation course or would want to do the entire foundation course. So she was, I will go module by module. If I am happy, I am satisfied, I'll go to the next. And she ended up doing all the 6 modules.
Okay, so that's the question that I had. That if I want to say eventually do the teacher training, the program, does it mean that I have to do all the 6 modules?
Yes, because the foundation course certification is the eligibility criteria for the teaching dyslexia teaching level.
Okay.
But if you don't want to move ahead, you just want, you are keen on only certain modules and you're not keen on becoming a dyslexia teacher or a dyslexia, then you can choose and pick the modules.
What I have noticed is that we get reports, parents go to dyslexia centers and get reports. And as you were telling, Dia was telling earlier, they're very, it's very structured, but we as teachers have a very close interaction with children over many hours, over many days. And sometimes even as teachers, we are unable to understand these reports. We just look at it and just leave it aside, because we don't know what to make of it. And we look at children as, human beings and not as results of a report. So, so I
assure you, we don't treat them like lab rats.
No, so, that's what I was very keen that.
You should do module 3 then. It's a must. I mean, you will enjoy it. And once you get those reports in future, you will be able to make a lot out of those. They just say, they just give a set of numbers for each student. So it just feels like, what is it? My student is not a set of numbers, but numbers have a lot of meaning. So once you understand the meaning behind the numbers, the interpretation, the qualitative part of it, it will all come together. It will start making sense. Until and unless it just seems like a mathematical,
No, actually the summation of these reports look like a lot of jugglery with words, so we really don't know where to go from there.
Yeah, because it's a very clinical, it's a clinical report. No? It's written by clinical psychologists. So we work in a clinical setup. So for you to understand, it will be difficult. It's not like, though it is English, but it will be different. Just like when we read a paper, like lawyers know how to read the legal English, right? So it is English, but if we read that, we are not able to make sense of it. How much ever high-yard vocabulary is. Same like this. This requires a certain kind of eye, which you will develop once you do the third third module. You will develop that eye to, read.
So,
this.
yeah, that's what I hope to do, where
Mhm.
I want to remain a teacher, teaching children, but at least know where the difficulties are
Yes,
coming
absolutely.
from.
And then if there is a discrepancy in the report,
Then,
if certain
yeah.
scores are not, because a lot of times we have spotted errors in reports also.
Mhm.
It is saying, it is describing your student in a particular way, which you do not agree with, and you come across a score which is actually not being interpreted well. So you can question the professional. Or you can talk to the parents and tell them to, go back to the organization and have a, them to relook at the report. So that empowers you as a teacher to, even question professionals if they are not, describing the student properly as per the report. So, should think about that one. That will be interesting.
So, any more queries? Oh, thank you. Oh, if you want an email,
Masters cannot hear you. 1 second. Okay, yeah.
No, I said that, if you have any more queries and if you want details, just send us an email and we'll reply to your email.
Sure. Thank
Yes.
you.